everyone covers the really big brewing items that you need for a brew day. You know, we've been brewing a lot lately, and it just popped into our head that there's a bunch of little things that no one ever talks about that make the brewing day so much easier. And we figured we'd give them 9 of them.
Yeah, so, guess get right into it, huh?
Yeah, should we go from least to best?
Let's just
go down the list.
In no particular order.
In no particular order. None of these devices are superior to the other.
Negative.
Yeah.
No. Well, one is superior to all the others, and we'll get to that.
Okay. Yeah. So what's up first?
So the first one is an electric kettle. Yeah, so this is very handy. And I didn't even realize this until I was brewing for a bit, and then I saw either you or one of our brewing friends, they needed to adjust their mash temperature, you know, kind of raise it a little bit, and they asked for the kettle and popped it.
Yeah, there goes. I think it was Axe.
I think
he's
so
the first one I've seen use it.
Yeah.
You know, if you overshoot your mash temp, it's pretty easy to add cold water to it. But if you need hot water, you know, this thing will boil up a quart or a couple liters of water in no time flat. And you just add it to a mash tun, stir it in, and presto changeo. Yeah.
I think the one time that I did it, I was surprised at how little hot water, you know, the boiling water, obviously, how little water I needed to raise the temp, like 3 or 4 degrees maybe.
Yeah.
It was great.
Because usually when you miss it, that's about how far away you are.
Yeah, it's just you miscalculated.
I mean, if you're 20 degrees off.
Well, yeah, you got bigger problems.
Yeah. You need like 4 of them.
And you're going to be boiling a long time.
Yeah, so those are super handy to have around. The thing I thought of recently is I love it at home for making tea. So you can probably talk, you know, one into getting one in for the household just for making tea and stuff. But I was wondering how fast it boils water in Britain, because they, you know, I think they got 220 volt.
Yeah, you would think that would be like under a minute.
Yeah, like you can't even push the button all the way down. You know?
Holy crap. It's melting. So yeah, they're made out of special plastic, space age plastic polymer.
So gadget number 2.
Gadget number 2, spray bottle. Spray bottle full of sanitizer. So yeah, that really comes in handy for a whole myriad of things. I think when you first reintroduced me to brewing, I remember you had like a bucket of sanitizer and you'd keep all the stuff in there. And as time has gone on, I've stopped doing that. I don't know if you still do. And now I just have one of those things. If I need to sanitize something post-boil, give it a couple spritz with that, use it, and I'm done. I don't have to have all the sanitizer sitting around.
Yeah, I got tired of making 5 gallons of sanitizer every time.
Yeah.
You know, I brewed. And the other thing, and we mentioned it before, is I make all my sanitizer with RO water. And that actually keeps it really clear, and it maintains that low pH for a long, long time. And I store it in a keg, so it's not exposed to oxygen. I purge my keg with it, and anytime I need to fill up a bottle, I just, you know, pull out the tap and fill it up. You know?
Yeah, that's really handy. I have that. I need to buy another one because I usually use it so much I leave it laying around the house. And I can't remember where I put it, so I'm like, where's my sanitizer?
Now, I do write sanitizer on it.
Yeah.
So no one decides to, you know, I don't know, clean the carpet with it. I don't know if that would hurt the carpet, but I don't want to mix it up with water or anything. Yeah.
So, I wouldn't want to. Well, it tastes funny. You know, you never know, and I don't know what it would
taste like lime.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know.
One note, though, is when you get yourself a spray bottle to fill up with sanitizer, or PPW, I know some people do PPW, you want to get the heavy duty ones, because it's, you know, it's kind of corrosive a bit, and it'll eat the plastic up.
Yeah. So let's see, this one is 25 fluid ounces, is that it? Or you fill up more than that? So
yeah, I filled up all the way.
So I have a formula that I've worked out. I saw somewhere, I think I saw it on Homebrew Finds, but if you want to use a less amount of sanitizer, you know, that on the back of the bottle they have, you know, for 5 gallons use this much, and it's like an ounce. So just doing relatively simple math that someone was kind enough to do for me, to do a gallon of sanitizer, it's 0.2 of an ounce or 6 milliliters. So you can just scale that down. So I think I use maybe 2 milliliters of sanitizer for a bottle about this size.
Nice.
Just use a little syringe. Done.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't even have to take it out of the keg that I keep my sanitizer in or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. I thought that was pretty handy.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree with you. Yeah.
So
and this bottle, it puts out enough where if you got a fermenter that's clean and you just need to sanitize it, I just get some in there, swirl it all around, and dump it out. And it doesn't take but a minute. You don't have to mix up a batch. When I aerate my wort, you just hold the thing up. Then when you're done aerating, kind of hose it off and hit it again.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking about
bad breath. Don't do that.
Yeah. I don't know.
You probably could, but I wouldn't.
I don't think it would taste. I don't know if it would do anything for your breath.
Yeah.
But my flask for my starter.
There you go. Yeah, so it's easy just to cover something with a spray.
So, yeah. Anyway, I think we've sold them. They're all. Well, we should probably wait. Yeah. Because they're out buying spray bottles.
This message brought to you by Star Sand. Star Sand Damper. 5-star chemicals.
By Big Spray Bottle.
Yeah. BigSprayBottle.com. Star Sand. Actually, as an aside, 5-star chemicals doesn't support us, but they got a great newsletter. You might want to check that out.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're very generous with their sanitizer if you're running a homebrew competition.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're good people over there, I think. So, anyway,
gadget number 3. What we have here is the Ryobi portable fan. So this thing, I love this thing. We went to the Feast of St. Arnold's. Hey, what a coincidence. And a friend, Johnny, had one of these in his booth. And it has a little line to go into a bucket of water, and you drop it in there, turn the fan on, set it to high, and it sprays a nice cool mist. And I actually got it because a hot day doing yard work, brewing some beer or something like that, I could set it up on a bucket, which, trust me, I have plenty of buckets. And bam, there you go. But one thing I didn't think about until afterwards was you can point this at the top of your kettle, and it's small enough where you could set up like a ladder or, I don't know, a sawhorse, or use your imagination, and kind of bungee cord to it and put it right at the top of the kettle, and it will drastically increase your boil off rate. So let's say you're making something like a wee heavy, and you end up collecting a lot of wort because you want to get to that 3 original gravity. You end up with a really, really long boil, and this will drastically cut down the time. So
I saw it in action. When he came up with the idea, it was awesome.
I've got some videos here. You can see that the fan, just the amount of steam that's coming off of the kettle, I think my boil off rate with the fan is about 4 gallons an hour, which is, I think it's crazy. Normally just under 2. Of course, it's a function of, if you put too much heat into your wort, then it can't convert to a gas quick enough, and that's when you get your boil overs. And with the fan blowing on the top, it just helps it convert all that much faster. And there you go, fast boil off.
So I would think mileage would vary depending on altitude. And humidity levels. There's several factors. Use your best judgment. But no matter where you are, this is going to help. Yeah,
because we're up at like 6,000 feet
ish. Yeah.
So I think our boil off is probably much better than sea level.
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah.
Yeah. So this one is a Ryobi brand. I've become a big fan of their tools, but battery goes back here. I've ran it a very, very, very long time on one of their larger batteries. So great.
Yeah, that's always nice when, see the electric kettle and this one, it's not a single-use item, which is huge. I love that we don't, when you can use one item for multiple purposes, that's just great.
And obviously the sprayer can be turned off, so, you can use it as a regular fan elsewhere. So, perfect.
All right. So number 4. Ready for number 4? Number 4. Around here somewhere. There we go.
So you gotta excuse my hop spider. I think I've had it for something like 10 years now. I know some people will scrub it to get it perfectly clean, but I personally don't. I just clean it off pretty good. But you know what this is neat for? You probably already know. You hang this thing on the side of your kettle. and it sits in the wort. You toss all your hops in the top here, and the wort can go through the screen and then come out, and none of the hop particulate gets into your wort. So it makes cleanup easy. I got a nice little video here. You can see how the hops are staying within the hop spider. They're not going out into the wort itself. Yeah, and then when you drain, you know, they all stay in here, and then you just kind of shake it out over a garbage can, and all the hops come out.
Yeah.
Hit it with a hose.
And it's done and done.
It takes a little while to clean it with a hose or sprayer. Because you spray and they all fall over here. Yeah. And then you spray here and they go over there.
Oh, wise guy. So, no, I know at one point that you had some concerns about utilization.
I do. So I noticed that when I drain my kettle, and I think it's only with larger hop additions, the wort will get stuck in here because the hop material is all just clogged the screen, right? Yeah. And it won't drain out, so you have to give it extra time. I don't think that you get the same hop utilization you do if you threw them directly in the boil. I think you still suffer from just having limited exposure to the wort. So I don't know that's drastic. I've increased my the amount of hops I use by, like, you know, I don't know, 5%. I think Steven, our friend Steven, may have said 10%. I'll ask him. I'll put his percentage here. Yeah. But you should adjust for it if you use it every time. You can, you know, up here at this altitude, our hop utilization is already a little lower. Yeah. So, you know, try it for yourself. Yeah. Yeah. And they make smaller ones. I thought about getting some smaller ones. And they're kind of like capsules. You put the hops in there. And there's some that look like a loose tea brewer, you know, and it locks and you drop it in there. It's got a little chain with a hook. Yep. And I was thinking about getting those because I started doing some small batch brewing, and I couldn't fit this in the pot with my immersion chiller. So yeah, I mean, that's another option, and those are easy too. Yeah. So I was actually looking. I almost pulled the trigger on those tea infusion balls because I looked on AliExpress. Yeah. And if you haven't been there, it's like Amazon but on steroids. So they have anything you could want, but it's like most of the stuff is dirt cheap, so their mileage may vary. But they had those tea infusers that were about the size of a softball. I was like, hey, I could probably fit a good 3 ounces of hops in there. Yeah. You know. Well, and the ones I saw, and I was looking on Amazon, I think they're 3 inches. Yeah, that's about the same you can put like an ounce in it, and there's plenty of room for the hops to move around. Yeah. So they're not, you know, crammed in there. So yeah, my thoughts on that is, so I don't want to hijack the hop spider thing, but I don't use a hop spider. I use a bag, just a nylon bag. Same principle. You put the hops in here. I just tie it onto the side of my kettle and let it do its thing. When I'm done, I just yank this out, let it drain, throw it away. I'm only using this because I ran out of muslin bags. If you're not familiar with muslin bags, they're just cotton thread bags. You know, they just look like a net, basically. And you put your hops in there, throw it in. When you're done, you take it out and throw the whole thing away. Done. Yeah. And so I was looking for cheesecloth my last brew because I ran out of muslin bags. I was like, I wonder what cheesecloth would work. Worked great. I used that for my second edition. That worked fine. But I saw one of those strainers and I almost bought that and decided not to because it was just a smallish one. I don't think I had enough. So anyway, hop additions were, you know. So I guess maybe that's what number are we on? 4 or 5? 4. Okay, so maybe the muslin bag is 4.1. Yeah. And the nylon bag's 4.2. I've got some nice nylon bags too for hop additions that have a drawstring top. Yeah. And a long string on it that you can use to tie. And I've used those. I've been quite happy with those. Yeah. Any of the things with a really fine mesh though, like as fine as this or the nylon bags I'm talking about, I'm concerned with how much liquid gets through it. Yeah, and it's, I think I've got some that I bought that are very similar to the ones you just described, but they're made out of like a nylon, and it's really stiff. So I was concerned about how well it would circulate. So that's why I haven't been using them. Yeah, personally, I don't like the muslin bags because you throw them away, and then I forget to buy them, and and then the next brew day I'm like, where's the muslin bag? So with the nylon bags I'm talking about, I just turn them inside out over the garbage can. All the hops come off, hose them down real quick, and then throw them in the laundry. And then I find them in my sock drawer. See, I don't even wash them. Yeah.
Well, this one I just turn it out inside out, close it down, and good to go. Because it goes in the boil, so I don't really care.
No, I agree. Yeah.
But yeah, and the cheesecloth, talking about dual uses. I mean, I have cheesecloth in my kitchen for not making cheese, but for other things.
Kombucha.
Yeah.
That's what I use it for.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. So, no, food for thought.
Yeah. Gadget number 5.
5. An instant read thermometer. So, I bet a lot of people have one of these in their kitchen already. If you don't, you should.
Yeah, and we'll throw a link in there just so you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, so this one is an Inkbird. I got this on sale, I think. And it came with one of these, which I'll kind of lump this together too, which is a infrared thermometer. These come in handy as well. But yeah, it's a thermometer. You take temperatures with it.
Well, and the thing is it's fast.
Yep.
Yeah, so you don't have to, put the floating thermometer in there and then wait for 5 minutes for it to, this thing you pop it in there and right away.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's done. Like if you take your temperature during the mash, you just stir up the mash, take the temperature, and it's been accurate for me, this whole time, or every time. Yeah.
Infrared thermometers got me into trouble.
Yeah.
Because I used it to try to measure the temp of a mash, and it doesn't do well with anything that's like foamy. So like you can't tell the temp of if you hit the top of a kettle that's boiling, it'll give you an incorrect temperature. Yeah. And I overshot my mash quite a bit. It's great for, you can hit the side of the kettle, see what the temp is there. You can, when you're chilling your wort, you can hit the top of the wort there. What else? Oh yeah, we use it a lot. We have a recirculating chiller, like in a cooler. So you kind of hit the water in the cooler and the wort and see what the temp difference is.
Yeah, see if you need to add ice or something. Yeah. What's helpful for me is I know chilling kegs, so I'll just hit this with the side of the, just so I have an idea of, is it time to pitch? Nope.
That's usually beneficial.
So so I don't have to open it up and expose my my pretty wort to the greeblies that are in my garage. Yeah. So
perfect.
I don't know. She gets them, but like I said, in this one,
get 2 of them actually. One for the kitchen and one for the brew box.
Because I use the one in the kitchen when I'm making my starter. This one is rechargeable, by the way, which I should probably do.
Oh, I use the one in the kitchen while I'm cooking meat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. Oh no, I use that all the time. Yeah. So I don't give my family salmonella and making chicken. Again. They're all whiny. Oh, I'm throwing up. Whatever.
You should be immune by now. Look at the dog. She don't care.
You'll thank me later. A giant whisk. So, started watching Homebrew Challenge. If you haven't watched it, it's interesting. Not as cool as this show, but it's an interesting one.
the production value is horrible.
I know, yeah.
He has like more than one camera. That's ridiculous.
Who does that?
I'm just kidding. It's a great show. You should check it out.
Yeah, he's very good at what he does. But he used this, and when I first saw it, I was like, that's silly. Why would anybody do that? Yeah. And then I saw this was on sale somewhere around the holidays. I was like, whatever, I'll just pick it up. Man, makes smashing in so much easier.
Well, the big thing I noticed on his videos versus the way I do it is I've got to pour the grain in a little bit at a time and stir while I'm going. And then if you get a dough ball, you kind of stop, break the dough ball up, then keep going. Yep. And the way he does it is he just dumps the entire bucket directly in the water and then whips this thing out and just hits it a bunch and it falls apart. Yeah. I'm like, oh my goodness, that was so easy.
Yeah, so what I had been doing previously was I was using the old method, dump in some grain, stir it up, this last brew that I did, I was like, dumped it in, and I got giant dough balls. But it's so much easier to break it up with this as opposed to a spoon, because this will mush it against the side, you break it up, and then where there's a spoon, it's kind of squirting off the side. So I think it was like $12.
$12.
It is well worth it.
I'm going to get me one.
Yeah, it is well worth it.
I might get me one tonight if Jesse looks away.
Hey. Okay, so
Number 7?
7, I think we're at.
I can't believe I'm keeping track.
Yeah, I'm actually impressed. So, most everybody, again, probably already have this, but if you don't, you should have one. A refractometer. I think I'm saying that right. I've heard some people saying refractometer.
Refractometer?
That sounds Willy Wonkish, so I say
I'm pretty sure it's
refractometer.
refractometer.
Yeah. Because I don't say thermometer.
Yeah.
I should have called it that.
Yeah.
Thermometer.
But you should say Euroscope.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Greeks invented it. Hey, sorry.
Yeah.
I think that's true. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know. But so refractometer. So why would we ever want a refractometer when we have our trusty hydrometer?
Yeah. So first of all, a hydrometer and a refractometer measures the amount of sugar in the wort. That's what, in a liquid. We just happen to use it for wort and brewing beer. So the advantage to this is that since hydrometers are calibrated to work at, take a measurement at 60 degrees or 65, depending on, it says on the piece of paper inside the hydrometer, you have to wait for your wort to cool down, and that's just a pain in the butt. Who's got time for that? So this, you take out your little pipette, you take some wort, squirt it on there, you look through, and I think I've had to wait a couple times because sometimes it reads kind of high, and then if I go back and measure it again after the wort's cooled for like 2 minutes, it's a little bit lower, but it's a lot faster than waiting for
the hydrometer.
A tube to cool down to 60.
Yeah, although to be fair, you can take a temperature reading of the hydrometer and then run it through a tool and it'll adjust it. But I agree, the refractometer is much easier.
Yeah.
Personally, I take a little sample at the end of the boil when it's all mixed up good and set it aside, and then I take the measurement a little bit later.
Yeah.
Me and one of our viewers, Mike M, did a experiment where we tested the same little batch of wort, and the gravity on it kept dropping as it was cooling down.
Yeah. Which kind of bit me in the butt. I think the last brew you asked me, it was like, hey, how'd brew day go? I was like, yeah, man, I hit my numbers. Woo! Yeah, I missed my starting gravity by 5 points because I took the measurement too soon.
Okay. Well, 0.05?
0.05, yeah. So now it's 0.45 instead.
Okay.
So, not a big deal.
But still, you try to hit the numbers.
Yeah, I would like to.
We reach for greatness. It's right there.
I can't.
But interesting fact about the temperature problem is if you're using your pH meter, pH meters are also rated within a range of temperature. So you want to make sure that whatever you're measuring falls within that range, where you can get wildly inaccurate readings.
Yeah. Oh, I just thought of another advantage to refractometer. Is that
your neighbors think you're spying on them.
If you have a paranoid neighbor, point straight at them at their house, and and then start measure. Make sure you make a note of your gravity
reading.
So.
I was concerned about that because I always point at the neighbor across the street house,
because that's just there. You just point
and you can't see nothing through it. They could be coming after you.
Oh yeah,
yeah, you don't know.
You see a blue line. That's all you see, blue. So yeah, that's funny. Anyway, okay, so we're on number 8.
So only one more after this.
Yeah. So
the floating dip tube.
Floating dip tube. These are awesome. I really enjoy using these. So, again, for those of you who don't know, you take the liquid tube out of your keg, replace it with a short one, like a gas.
And it comes with the kit, and the kit's like $20.
Yeah. Sometimes you find them on sale for 15.
Yeah, and you can't tell from here, but it's silicone. It's not the PVC tubing, so you can boil it and you can bleach it and do whatever you need to do to clean it.
So, so usually when I'm pitching my yeast, since the water's cool, and we'll talk about that in a second, I'll pop one of these puppies in, and I'll ferment with this in there, and then I'll take my keg upstairs, put it in my keezer when the fermentation's done, and start serving, and it'll start drawing from the top and go down. Yeah. So, yeah, it works great.
Yeah. It's also handy if you're not going to ferment in the keg. It's also handy if you're in a rush, because what you can do is you pop your beer. Of course, the beer clears at the top first as things precipitate out of it. And so you can get in there, get carbonated, and start pulling clear beer right away. I've done that with pale ales because that's a style that's better fresh.
Yeah. Yep. So I think at one point you had talked about just since this is silicone and this little ball here is metal, when I'm putting the hot wort in, just leave this in there and and do that.
Yeah.
My concern is that this is plastic.
Yeah,
So
I've actually all the versions I have don't have that screen on it. It's
Yeah.
just a metal tip at the end.
yeah. So I've got some like that, and I've got some like this. So yeah, I just do it when I pitch my yeast, because then I can take a good gravity reading with my refractometer. Pop this in there, put my tilt in, or my ice spindle, depending which one I'm using, and
You're ready to go.
good to go.
Yeah. Don't open it again until you gotta clean it. Oh, you gotta get the ice spindle out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's But even then, I just use some tongs, sanitizer with the spray bottle.
There you go.
Tongs, pull it out. So it's very minimal contact with oxygen. I'm
Yeah,
sure
those are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And now with all the fermenters I have, a pile of them have floating dip tubes. So,
Yeah.
it's not like I'm not used to them anymore.
yeah. Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, if you get a Firmzilla, I think they all come with these things.
Yep.
Yeah.
So number 9.
Number 9 is the big one. This is by far the best of the lot.
Brewer's Buddy.
Trademark.
It may look
Always
like
reserved.
just a stick, but it's good for so much more. So it's kind of a running joke between us. This actual Brew Buddy came from my kids had an easel made by Melissa and Doug, and I took it apart, and this is what that stick's for. But you've probably seen some examples in our videos, and hopefully I can put it here, where I've used it to twist the Bruna bag to lift it out of the kettle, and then you can kind of dangle it there to let it drain. It's got this handy little piece sticking out, so you can rest it on the lip of the kettle so it won't unravel.
Oh, yeah.
If you need to tilt a fermentation vessel, it goes under the corner. I've used it to tilt the kettle all the time.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of silly, but it does. It comes in incredibly
Yeah,
useful.
no, it's been. I think I know you use it every single time you brew.
Yeah.
So, hey, if it's silly and it works, it ain't silly.
Silly, exactly.
So, but yeah, I think that's all we got.
Yeah. So let us know what your favorite brew gadgets are. I mean, I'm sure there's stuff out there. You can leave a comment down below or on our webpage, our Facebook page, wherever you want to do it.
Yeah, whatever. So, yeah, I'm always looking for something to spend my money on.
Yeah.
So,
Or make life easier.
yeah, hopefully, that's what I tell my wife.
Yeah. So,
But
yeah.
anyway,
Till next time.
Yep.
Cheers.
cheers. Thanks for watching our video. Check out our website at coloradobrewtalk.com for more great content.
While you're there, be sure to leave us a comment or drop us a line with your thoughts.
You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter at CO Brew Talk, or follow the links below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any future content.
Or episodes. As the case may be.